Let me see. Yeah, I'm live. I'm live. And I just woke up, and probably I will not have many viewers today on this live chat, but this live chat or live video you can, yeah, you can watch back after I load it up. And this is my first video in probably a year time. Yeah, I didn't upload a video in a year time because in principle, my friends, I was already stopped making videos for YouTube, and I will show you how I'm looking today. As you can all see, I lost a lot of weight. I'm not there yet, but yeah, I'm having a relaxed period, and I have. I just want to say, my friends, I didn't have the plan to make videos again for my YouTube channel, and the reason is because, to be honest, there are a few reasons. I had that Marantz 2330, that 2 times 125 or 130 watt channel Marantz. I bought 2 of them about 1.5 years ago. I had 2, and I was not happy with that sound. That sound could not make me happy, because even though it was a monster Marantz, 2 times 130 watt, every receiver above 120 watt I see as a monster receiver. Some people say, okay, a receiver from the 70s with 2 times 100 watt is also a monster. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I say 120 watt and above. Some people think 2 times 85 watt is a monster. I don't agree with that either. 2 times 130 watt. So I thought, okay, I finally have that little Marantz, because little it is, that Marantz 2330, because it had to, as you can see, it fit exactly on that audio table I made. Yeah. But the thing is, my friends, that sound, that Marantz sound, when I just started my hobby years ago, 15 years ago, when I started to make videos for YouTube, I loved that Marantz sound. But in the between time, yeah, I discovered different kind of sounds, like the Sansui, like, well, I upstairs have a Pioneer SX1250. It is back from reparation, from recapping, but I still did not test that thing out. And I'm not sure. Even though it is a beauty, I'm not sure why I still, but I took it back from the recapping guy, you know, Simon recapped it for me. I still not tested it out in my house. I'm not sure why. In that period, I still had that Marantz. I sold that Marantz a few weeks ago, and then this thing came on my path. And I am not hunting anymore, my friends. I am not hunting anymore. Believe me what I'm saying to you. I'm not hunting. Because in a way, I thought, okay, I have my Pioneer SX1250. I have a Pioneer SX950 upstairs. So, and I sold many of my stuff, and for a very low price, to be honest, because that guy, that dealer, he's a dealer, came to my house, and that complete wreck. I will make videos again, not many, but everything have to do with this thing. This thing, because this thing is so special. I never expect from a Fisher, yeah, Studio Standard by Fisher, yeah, the RS1080. I never expect that this thing could sound so beautiful. Never. That Marantz, that 2330, sounded exactly as a 226B or a 2018 or a 2016, you know, or a 22, now 2238 sound a little bit better, but no, they sound exactly the same. I recognize, blindfolded, I can recognize a Marantz because they have that particular sound, my friends. And I know Marantz are the most expensive, one of the most, not the most, not the most, one of the most expensive vintage receivers. And believe me, guys, 80% is because of the beauty, because Marantz receivers are very beauty. Do they have the best sound? No, they don't have the best sound. I already told you my Sansui G9000 beat every Marantz under the 2330. I never heard a 2385, never heard a 2500, never heard a 2600. So, but a Marantz 2500 or a 2600, it is impossible to score these days for a normal price. I mean, normal price, you can say 2,000 euro, 2,500 euro. That is a normal price. Yeah, what most people can afford. But nowadays they ask for a Marantz 2500 or a 2600 above 5,000 euro. This is craziness. A Sansui G9000 these days, I mean Europe, in America they are cheaper because you have more of them. But in Europe you have to pay now for a G9000 4,000 euros, my friends, 4,000 euros for a G9000. I mean, come on, man. Come on, this is too much. I paid for my G9000 years ago 800 euros. But okay, the thing is, this thing was online. I'm still looking at marketplace for, you know, for bargains, you know, because if I in the future buy something, it will be a monster. And not a monster from 100 watt. Probably also not monsters from 2 times 120 watt. I'm really only interested in the monsters from 150 watt and above. Yeah, and there are not many monsters you can afford because they are all expensive. I'm not planning to pay 2,000, 2,500 for a monster receiver. Come on, my friends, that is too much. Yeah, I want the Hitachi. I'm looking for that one, the Hitachi or Hitachi. Yeah, the Hitachi SR 2004. That one is a beautiful monster, beautiful. But there was almost never one for sale in the whole Europe. So that one is impossible to score for me because they are not in Europe. You cannot find them. Then there is a Toshiba, the Toshiba 7100 or the 7150. That one, I don't think it is a very beautiful one, but also that Toshiba is very hard to score. I prefer the 7100. And because the 7150, that one have a digital tuner, yeah. So that one is late 81, yeah. And what is more on my list? Well, the Kenwood KR9050, the KR9050, that is a beauty. Also, that one you cannot score below 2,000, 2,500 euro at the moment. Those things are very expensive. Then there is the Technics SA1000, yeah, the 1000, so the Technics 1000, and that one is, I think, 2 times 330 watts. So you can say on par, on equal as a Sansui G33000 or a Marantz 2600, yeah. Also, that one is at the moment, you can find those one in Europe. They are very rare, so it will be very difficult. And if they come on the market, so that Technics, it will be minimum 4,000 euro. Yeah, minimum. So all those receivers are out of reach for me. Yeah, and because maybe I'm lucky in the coming years, maybe I'm lucky I can score a a receiver for a reasonable price. Yeah, I mean, reasonable price is below the 2,000 euro. One of those receivers, reasonable. And, but I don't count on it. But anyway, I was a few weeks, I think 2 weeks on Marketplace. And then I saw a guy advertising this fisher on the east, in the eastern part of the country. So I had to drive 1.5 hours, and the thing was dirty. At first I thought it was damaged, and then I had some contact with the guy. He had a bid from, I think, 200 euro. Yeah, 200 euro with the lights off. And then I contacted him. I said to him, does the thing work? He told me he don't know, because he cleaned one house for a person who was passed away in Germany. Because this thing, I never saw it in the Netherlands. It was never sold in the Netherlands, probably. And the first time I saw it, I didn't know of the existence of them. And that guy, in Germany, they were sold. Yeah, so that guy cleaned that house, and he took this thing with him, but he cut the wire. I'm gonna show you what this guy did. Oh, he cut the wire, and then, as you can see, this is what he did. He put this stupid wire. It's unbelievable, my friends, unbelievable. This is what he did, and this is how I spin it now. I will place, and then I see a lot of those receivers in that time didn't came with a grounded cable. This is a grounded cable, as you can see. Because the sound, I discovered the sound, over the speakers there's a hum. And then I thought, where is the hum is coming from? Because the thing, it wasn't used much. It was dirty, it was dirty. I cleaned it behind the faceplate. I cleaned everything. And it is in the evening time a beauty. But the only lamp what is out is the FM bulb. As you can see over here, the FM bulb. So if I'm going to switch, you have phono 1, phono 2. Yeah, didn't test the phono stage, but I heard that it's one of the best phono stages ever built. And Dolby FM is working, as you can see, the bulb. But all the other bulbs are working. So only the FM bulb is out, and the bulb from the dial pointer is out. Yeah, there's the red bulb. The volume knob have a red bulb over here, you can see. And beautiful, still working. These two bulbs are out. So 1, 2, 3, 4 bulbs are out in this thing. That means the rest is all original, because I opened it and I saw that it wasn't soldered between the bulbs. And that means 4 bulbs out, 1987. So in 48 years, only 4 bulbs out. That means the thing wasn't used that much. I opened it. John, my repair guy, looked at it, and he was perplexed, because he never saw one in his life before. He was perplexed. He told me, now I understand why this tuner is so good, because the tuner is very strong. He discovered some things in the tuner board, yeah, what he never saw before in any Marantz he had. And he had all those Marantzes, that 2500, 2600, but he was perplexed about the tuner board. When I make a detailed video, when I will bring it to him, I will recap this thing completely, yeah, put new bulbs, but only LED bulbs. And when that thing is finished, I will make a video. Why? Well, because I think everybody who wants in the future a monster, and for me, I only want monsters in the future, doesn't matter how beautiful a receiver is, well, it depends. If it is a beauty with 2 times 100 or 2 times 120 watt, and the price is very good, I can score one, But in principle, my my scoring list at the moment is only monsters, because I sold, well, I think I sold 60%, 70% of the stuff I had, you know. I still have to sell all my speakers, but from the receivers, the amplifiers, I sold 60, 70% I sold, yeah. I sold that complete rack to a dealer, because a guy came to buy a thing with me, and then he saw this rack, and he asked me how much money you want for the complete rack. I said, you know what it is, the value was maybe 1,500, 2,000 euro if I would sold it separately. And I thought, you know what, every time I come in that room and I think of selling, I see that rack, I give up. I gave up. My shoes get heavy. And I think, no, leave it, you know, leave it for tomorrow. And because that rack would be impossible to sell. Most of the stuff was that cheap stuff, what is hard to sell, or it was broken. It needed service, and I didn't have the power to do that with that cheap spoil. I mean, service this thing, clean it is fun doing. You know, it's fun. It's fun. It's gewoon nice to work on a machine like this. But working on those cheap devices, I don't have fun on that, you know, and to clean them and to, you know, I mean, to clean the knobs, the cracking knobs. No, I don't want that. I don't have the power for that anymore. So I told the guy 500 euro, and the guy was so happy, because that guy is a dealer. So he's selling them. Maybe he repairs them, maybe he cleans them. I don't know what he do with them. And then maybe he can make some good profit on them, you know, understand? But I was so happy, my friends. You know, of course, it was a little bit, on one side it was a little bit stupid, because I lost a lot of money, yeah? If I would sold them separately myself, maybe 1,500 I would be able to sell them, but I didn't have the power, because for every machine you have to make an advertisement, and then one guy have to come to your house. It would take too much time, and no, I don't have that time anymore. You understand what I mean? So, and okay, this thing come on my path. I bought it, I paid for it, because I offered the guy immediately 500 euro, because it is a monster. I didn't know nothing. I only saw the specs, 2 times 170 watt, 2 times 170 watt by 8 ohms, 33 kilo. So 4 kilo or 4 kilo, yeah, about 3.5, 4 kilo heavier as a SX1250. The same new price as a SX1250. Can you believe that? The same new price as a Pioneer SX1250. And then, my friends, I connected the thing and I heard the sound. And I was perplexed. I was sold. I was sold, because the sound is as beautiful as that Sansui G9000. As beautiful. Believe me, my friends. Beautiful punchy bass, but not in a V form. You understand what I mean? A V form sounded amplifier. No, the mids and the highs were sonic. I mean, you have here on this thing, you have the bass, yeah, as you can see, the bass and the treble. And the bass, you have, if you have here the tone control. You use it or you don't use it. Okay, when I use it, I can use this tone control. And then the bass, you can switch to 45 hertz or to, what is it? 80 hertz. So when you want the deep bass, more pronouncing deep bass, you use these 2 knobs. And then you can, with this knob, place extra deep bass. Or if you prefer more mid bass up till 80 hertz, you switch that knob over here to 80 hertz, and then you can use that bass. So for mids, it doesn't have, that was strange, it doesn't have a mid controller. It have a bass and a treble, no mid controller. But I spin it like this on my my Canton speakers and my Magnat speakers. I spin it like this, you know, like this. On the Magnat a little bit more bass, like this, and on the Heikos, or no, the Cantos, I switch a little bit back. But on my Heikos, I spin it neutral. Because on my Heikos, because my Heikos goes very deep, much deeper than my Magnats and my Cantons, and then I switch it just neutral. I play it neutral. It is exactly made for my Heikos, exactly, because my Heikos do not need extra bass. Often, for example, with that Marantz, I had that 2330. I spinned my Heikos like this, so I didn't put the bass on half. I had to go back because the bass is so heavy, yeah. And the treble I use like this on that Marantz 2330. But in this machine, I just in the middle, like it. This receiver is made for those Heikos, and believe me, guys, the sound of this thing is unbelievable. Unbelievable sonic, the most beautiful sound, together with my Sansui G9000 I ever heard. Yeah, I don't have that G9000 anymore. You know, I sold it to Simon. But yeah, probably I will have it back. But that will be a story for later. The 9000, the G9000. So then I have three monsters. I have this one, the SX1250, but I will never sell. I will probably sell the SX950. The only reason why I will sell that SX1250 if I can score a SX1280. Probably they will sound the same, but I like more the beauty of a SX1280. But the SX1280 is SX1250 you can score, you know, from time to time they come online, but the SX1280 never comes online. So that thing I can put out of my head. But that S1250 I will only sell if I ever can score a 1280. Yeah, what I do with two Marantz or two Pioneers. Anyway, this thing, my friends. So I paid €750. John Will told me he can do a fully recap for €350 because he saw it. The boards are easy to work, easy to reconnect the boards. It's very easy to work on this thing. That's why he only calculate €350. For a Sansui G9000, he has €550 because they are more difficult to work on. You understand what I mean? If a repair guy see the inside of this Fisher, then he think, oh, I'm very happy with this thing because it's easy to do my job. But some receivers are hard on working on, and this thing is very easy. That's why, and I'm not sure if with the €350 if he also calculated the bulbs. So the bulbs, because he have to do the bulbs for me. I have some interference. This knob is dirty. This knob is dirty, and a little scratchy volume knob, a little bit, not terrible, just a very little bit. And this knob is a little bit dirty, but not very dirty. Also, that he have to do for me. You don't have to clean it. The cleaning job is for me, of course. And of course, the LED bulbs. The LED bulbs will give more light. Yeah. But the sound, my friend. So I paid €750. Listen to this. I paid €750 for this thing. Yeah, because at a certain moment, when I offered him 500, he told me he have more people who have interest in it. And then I told him right away, I didn't jump to 600. No, I immediately jumped to €750. I thought, okay, if I don't like the sound, because I didn't expect much from a Fisher, you know. If I didn't like the sound, I could always got my €750 back. You understand? Because it is a monster from 2 times 170 watt, the channel. You know, try to find any other monster built between the first monster came out in 1976, and the last one is from 1980. Try to find in those 4 years one of those monsters. There were not many built. I mean, many from 150 watt the channel and above. There were not many built, my friends. I think maybe 10 max. 10 max. Well, Marantz had 3, the 2385, the 2500 and the 2600s. Pioneer had 3, the 1250 to 1280 and the 1980, that is 6. Then you have that Hitachi, Hitachi 2004. Then you have that Technics SA 1000. Then you have that Kenwood KR 9050. And then you have that, let me think. Luxman never had one, no. Sansui had 3, the 9000, the 901 dB, but that's the same, that's also the 9000. Sansui had 3, the 9000, the 22,000, and the 33,000, yeah. And probably there are 1 or 2 more, but that's it, my friends. 15, I think 15 together, around 15 receivers together, monster receivers. From that monster receivers, those 15, I have 2 now. I have this Fisher, I have the SX1250, and probably I will have my G9000 back, so then I have 3 of them, yeah. The very big monsters like the Sansui G33,000 or the G22,000 or the Marantz 2385 or the 2500 or the 2600 or the Pioneer 1980, they are impossible to score because they are too expensive. I'm not going to pay 3, 4. That is crazy work, my friends. I mean, I can buy an Acquphase. I mean, a modern Acquphase. Well, modern. Last I could score for 3,000 euro a Acquphase 408. That one is from 2006 or 7. For 3,000 only. Yeah, I could score an Acquphase 408. That's a beautiful sounding monster amplifier, 2 times 180 watt. But my friends, John told me, he told me, look, Andrew, first of all, I read on the internet on one of those forums. I never trust forums, my friends. Never trust forums. That this thing had a Darlington pack, so the STK modules instead of those normal power transistors. And I know that John, my repairman, hate those Darlington packs. I don't know why. Everybody don't like the sound. They don't like the sound. Or if that thing breaks, everything breaks inside, you know. I don't know what the reason is why repair guys do not like Darlington packs, but John is one of them. And then I told him, yes, it is a Darlington. He said, really? I said, open it for me. So I opened it, and he told me, and he saw right away that it was not a Darlington power pack. And so that's what you read on those forums, those people who inform you badly, you know. And believe me, Fisher was a popular brand. It was a very good brand before Sanyo, so Japanese Sanyo, took over Fisher in the 70s. So this thing is built under the license from Sanyo. Yeah, I mean, Sanyo already had a few years Fisher, and all those Fisher things they brought out under the name of Sanyo were crappy things. Most of them were crappy things. That's why I didn't expect much from this thing. But guys, can you believe it? At the moment, this receiver, this Fisher receiver is the receiver I most like at the moment. Not because of the looks. I prefer the looks of a SX1250 or a G9000 above this Fisher. Although the layout is not, well, it's not stolen, you know. It's not stolen. Um, it is the old-fashioned blue light. Only they didn't use the blue light system from Marantz. They had their own. It is not blue. It is more turquoise blue. You know, beautiful, beautiful. So at its own between different. If you would stack all those monster receivers, yeah, on each other, this thing will pop out just because of the color of the lighting, that turquoise color. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And especially when it is more lighted when I replace these bulbs with LEDs. And but the thing I mostly like is my friends, is the sound, because normal receivers only have this, so straight, you know, bass, mid, and treble. Yeah, this one, Mr. Mids, I don't mind, I don't miss it in this thing. But this thing, with this thing, it have that possibility to arrange your bass any way you like. You know, you want a little bit more, you put like this. You want more, or you can also, of course, arrange your bass just the old-fashioned way most receivers have, just with the bass knob, you know. But this thing, this extra, it gives you the possibility to go beyond a equalizer, beyond three knobs, you know, the bass, mid, and treble. Yeah. And the sound is, you know, since I have this thing, it is still on my table. Why I didn't want, it is 61 centimeters, my friend, 61 centimeters wide. It is a monster. Why I didn't want a receiver this big, and I prefer the 2330. That's why I hope that Marantz 2330 would make me happy. I so hoped on that, because that Marantz fit on my audio table. And as you all know, I made this audio table. I gave it a lot of time, thoughts, work to make it like this, you know. It is my design, but these things don't fit on it, because that audio table is, I think, 44 or 43 centimeters wide. For normal sized audio equipment, so amplifiers, a Acquphase could fit. Most amplifiers or normal receivers would fit on that, more normal vintage receivers, but not the monsters. The monster will stick out, and that is an ugly thing. That's an ugly thing when the table finished here, you know, and this thing sticks out. So I made my plan. I will sell the subwoofer. Yeah, I will sell the complete thing. Not the complete thing, because nobody will buy it probably from me like this. Probably I have to sell them. Well, I will sell them. I will first sell them. Maybe a guy like the layout I made, you know. But you have to be lucky to sell it like this. Probably I first will sell the subwoofer separate. I can always sell the subwoofer because it is a very popular subwoofer, and then I buy a new cabinet, or I buy a old-fashioned 60s cabinet, that old wooden cabinets from the 60s, with a built-in turntable and tuner. Not sure what to do, what to buy. I have over there, I have an old cabinet. This thing will fit on. Not sure if I will. Maybe in the between time I will use that one. I still have one upstairs, same size. That one is 60 centimeters wide, so it's from Spectral, with wheels. So I'm not sure, but it's not beautiful. Not what I really like, but okay. That was the only reason why I didn't want a monster in the past, because it doesn't fit on my table. But it's of course stupid, because then you just change your audio table, you understand? So that problem is solved. And but I love this audio table, my friends. I love this audio table. I think it is the most, because I do not use that subwoofer. That subwoofer is only for the show. Yeah, my height goes already too deep, so I do not need that subwoofer. Only for the show, only for the looks. But for the looks, that copper-colored sub. It is the most beautiful audio table, and and those glass plates, two glass plates on top and below that subwoofer, they are lighted on the back with LED light. In the evening they are blue. Beautiful, my friends, beautiful. And so I will sell my sub, but it is I not use it. It's only for the show. But I like aesthetic looks from audio, so that's why I also love these monsters. And let me see. Because most of you guys probably thought, oh, that Andrew he passed away because he didn't uh, he didn't load a video in a long time. So let me see. Which amplifier is the best for the Bose DM6? Well, the DM6 goes pretty low. You have to find, because what I miss in the BMW DM6 is the mids and the highs are not that sparkling. So you need a amplifier with sparkling highs and mids, yeah, with strong mids and highs. You know, you do not need a receiver or an amplifier with much bass, because those bass is not a problem from DM6. It has plenty bass. You need a amplifier for the mids. You know what have the accent on the mids and the highs a little bit higher, and the that's why I use the Technics H790. Super powerful, cheap, and very good quality for that price. There is not better to find. Okay, be amped. What? I'm not going to be amp. Wieland Schoten. Yes, I'm not really back. Wieland Schoten. I still because to be honest, I don't score anymore. So you know, I'm not even know if my batteries from my two cameras didn't use for a long time. Probably those batteries are completely broken after 1 year not used. Not sure. I have to buy new batteries to make films with my cameras, because now I film with my phone, you know. And so I'm not sure. Probably the only videos you will see is the video when it comes back from the repair guy, the recapping guy. I will show you the inside, and I will let you hear some sound from this thing, because the sound from this thing is really sonic. And then for €350 recapping and €750 investment, I bought this thing for €1,100. €1,100, my friends. I have a monster in my house with a sonic, a beautiful sound. Believe me, guys, that 2330 I sold eventually for €1,400, €1,400. So this thing, complete with the recapping, is 300 cheaper than that Marantz, but the sound is so much beautiful. Then this thing sounded beautiful than that Marantz, more beautiful. I mean, so that's a hell of a deal, and this thing will never leave my house. I see they are cheap. They are still, you can find in America and also in Europe, you can find them around between €1,300 and €1,500. You can find them, yeah. But sound-wise, they should cost the same as a SX1250. Yeah. At the moment, this thing, so when somebody say give a price on, so sound-wise, I would say €2,500. The same as a SX1250, €2,500. That's why I say this thing is a bargain. If you can find a thing like this thing under €1,000 or under €1,200-1,300. If you can find one, buy it. Do not hesitate. Think, oh, it is a Fisher, you know, and you know it doesn't have the layout from most of the competition. So the biggest brand, Sansui. But let's be honest, the Sansui, the SX1250, so the Sansui G9000 and above, the SX1250 or the Marantz 2385. Every one of them, every one of those receivers have a completely different layout. You know, you cannot say, okay, Marantz copied Sansui, or Sansui copied Marantz, or Pioneer copied Marantz. No, there was no copycats, you know. In the past, Kenwood loved to copy Marantz style, you know, in those blue lightning on behind. But this one stand on its own, you know. It have a completely different layout. It didn't steal the layout, you know. It have a completely different look than all these other three monster receivers what are in the same class. I mean the class 2 times 160, 2 times 185 watt, same class. Yeah, you have super monsters. Yeah, the super monsters with 2 times 300 watt and above, like the Sansui G33000, or that Technics SA1000, or that Pioneer SX 1980. Yeah, those are the super monsters. I cannot say we, I'm not sure who is watching this video, but most of us, we cannot afford monsters like that, because those monsters all cost above 5,000 euro. And at the moment, you can say those monsters I just called out cost close to 10,000, and the 33,000, for example, the Sansui 33,000 cost above 10,000 euro. And so those monsters we can forget. Don't even dream about those monsters, my friends, because you will never own one. I will never own one. Or you have to be very lucky to be on a yard sale. We don't have yard sales in the Netherlands. Or very happy that you can score one of them for a very cheap price. Yeah, maybe then you can score one, but that chance will be like scoring a car, Porsche, with a value from 20,000. You can score it for 5,000. It will be the same thing, you know. It will almost be impossible. So Wieland, I'm watching the chats now. I'm not back, but I am so in love, so in love. Even my picture on my WhatsApp, I changed. Normally I have pictures from my grandkids over there, but I changed in this thing, my friends. I'm so in love on this thing, and it is not mint. It have a scratch over here, and that's the only thing. That's the only thing. As you can see, that's the only thing it has, this thing. And a little thing over here, yeah, a little thing, and a little thing over here. That is all it had. And if you go on the inside, my friends, what's this? What's this? That, I don't know if you can see it, but that transformer is a monster. And 2 of those big 22,000 80 volt power caps, yeah. Beautiful layout, left, right channel, and the power board is here, and then the inside tuner board is here, Dolby board is here. Yeah, so this is how it is. Beautiful layout, beautiful professional layout. Yeah, metal, wood, but the wood is veneered. Yeah, so that's how it is. On the sides it is mint, on the front it is mint. Not one scratch on the knobs, only this thing. So 1,100 euro. When it is finished, my friends, 1,100 euro. I have this monster, this fantastic sounding monster. Anyway, let's see. Hello, long time. Let's hear the sound. Well, I'm gonna wait until, what's the time? Well, let me see. Let me spin some sound for you. What's this? What's the tuner? I just placed a wire. Just a wire on the back. Yeah, little wire. No, not a little wire. It is a wire from 2 meters, and then it have two sides from 1 meter. Yeah, about. What's this? What's the reception? Maximum. And I go next channel. So not sure what this thing is. Most tuners have these two. This thing also have this thing. This is for the tuner, my friends, not a power meter. It is a an FM multipath. Not sure, but most receivers do not have this. You see how strong it is? And all stereo. Unbelievable. 5 seconds. Oh, the sound. Oh, it is just unbelievable, my friend. This sound. So even though I have this SX1250, I think the one in, and that one is recapped also. So, but I think the SX1250 I think is more beautiful than this. But because, yeah, this thing is so, I don't know what I have. I cannot explain you. I do not have that connection with that SX1250. I'm not sure why, but maybe because it is almost mint. I have the connection with this thing, and this thing is so special sound. The sound is so fucking beautiful, my friends. Yeah. So, but okay. Then I go to the forums. So you have the SX. This is the RS 1080. Believe me, guys, 33 kilo. 33 kilo, 65 lbs. Yeah. This thing, to be honest, you also have a 1060. Also, that one is very rare in the Netherlands. It was almost in the last 7 years, maybe 2 were sold in the last 7 years in the Netherlands. Yeah, the SR 1080. This was the only one what was sold in the last 7 years in the Netherlands. But then I heard from guys from the forums, yes, that SR 1060 sound more crispier. And then I think, okay, do not believe what you read, my friends. I mean, there is not one review or test from this Fisher. Not one on YouTube. Yeah, there are some videos, just sound, for 1 minute, 2 minutes, but not one review. And I placed this thing just for a few days on a Facebook forum to see what people think about it. And yes, I had many negative comments. With other words, not interesting. With other words, this thing is shit. This thing is crappy. Well, those guys, first of all those guys who say, because the positive reaction I had, all those guys know the sound of this thing. Once you heard a Fisher SR 1080, I'm not sure about the SR 1060 because they say that one sounds also perfect, but not sure. Yeah, I don't have it in my house, but for the 1080, yeah, I can tell you, my friends, that this thing sounds just incredible. And let's be honest, 1100 euro when it is finished, recapped, fully recapped. Not sure if he will change those two huge 22,000 microfarad 80 volt caps. Not sure if that is included in the price because they are still good, 1100 euro. But go to the shop. Yeah, try to see what you can buy for 1100 euro. It is a lot of money. I know it's a lot of money, but try to find to see what you can buy for 1100. In sound, you know, sound amplifiers, more than 7.1, 5.1, I don't know, receivers, you know. That is shit. Those 5.1, 7.1 receivers all shit. Because within 15 years, probably within 5 or 10 years, Harman Kardon, within 3 years, yeah, if something breaks inside, you can throw it away. There's not one guy who can repair it. And the cards, because they all, you know, in the past, if these things broke, it goes to a repair guy, solder guy, you know, solder the broken caps, you know, they solder them. You don't have these guys anymore. On those working places, so a guy explained me who worked there, you know, he's still working over there. He told me all those new receivers, the machine comes in, if it is in the guarantee period, they open it, they change just the card, click in, and it is repaired. They do not solder anymore in guarantee period receivers. You don't need to solder anymore if something's broken inside. They change the complete card. This is what they do. It's more cheaper, you know, because they know, okay, the fault is in that card. They just change the card and the thing is repaired. But if you have to repair that thing outside the guarantee period, you can throw it away, because that card is very expensive, you know, that card they ask you. And placing it for you back, you know, what is an easy job, but you cannot do it yourself, the repair guys. John, my repair guy, he cannot order that card, only the importer can order that card, very difficult things, you know. Also, my repair guy, John, he cannot repair these things, you know, these new 7.1, 5.1, throw away, my friends. There goes your money in the garbage, if it is unrepairable, you know, because at a certain moment, when it is out of guarantee period, thing is 10 years old, 15 years old, it's already old-fashioned, you know, according to the guys who follow the fashion. Yeah, I want a modern receiver because it have to have this. No, all a receiver need is sound. And those receivers from 1100 euro, the sound will not make you happy. None of them. None of them. Only they are nice if you use them for your television. So you want a, you know, a experience with 5 speakers, your ears, stereo, and a sub and a mid channel. You know, you want that bioscope to watch film, your movies experience. They are made for that. They are not made to hear stereo sound, because that's crappy. Yeah, and try to find a decent amplifier for 1100 euro. 2 times 180 watt or 170 watt. Try to find that in the shop. Yeah, you can find them. Crappy sound. You know, I think the first good sounding amplifier. I mean, Marantz make at the moment, they selling D-class amplifiers for 6,000 euro. Yeah, 6,000 euro new in the shop. So then you have this beautiful sounding 1100 monster, but will never lose its value, what will only grow in value, my friend. See it as an investment. I mean, since a few years I'm wearing those watches, yeah? Okay. I had watches before, many, and I stopped watches, I give them to my friends, you know. I didn't even sold them on Marketplace, give them to my friends, yeah. If you meet a guy who is a watch collector, Rolex or, you know, Breitling, not sure what kind of brands he prefer, you know, and I said to him, well, because some of them were those watches. If you need to clean it to make it scratch free, you can do it 2 times. If you buy a expensive watch, a Rolex or Breitling, doesn't matter what brand you buy, you can clean it, bring it to the cleaner, and he will polish it new. It looks like new. You can do it 2 times. After that, finished. Yeah. And okay, that reparation costs you €2,000. My watch costs 600. I say, after 10 or 20 years, when I think it is too scratchy, I do not like it anymore, 20 years, I throw it away. Or I sell it, resell it for, I'm not sure what the rest value is, and I buy a new one, if, not sure. And then that guy told me, listen, Andrew, your watch, if you buy it from the shop, the value will never be higher than what you paid for it. It's true. You see this Rolex? You know what is the value from this Rolex after 10 years? Made me thinking. Those guys are smart guys, but you need money to buy a Rolex for 20, 30, 40, 50,000 euro. You need the money for that, And then I thought, hey, these guys are absolutely right. I was completely wrong. In a way, these guys were fancy Rolexes, but they also know that after 5 years or 10 years, the watch have a higher value. And that is the same, my friends, for this thing. This thing, after 10 years, you buy it you let it recap, cost you €1,100, €1,200, doesn't matter. What do you think, what is the value? Guess in 10 years from now. Well, we have a very high inflation, not only in America, also in Europe. Well, it came down a little bit the last few months. It came down to 2%, because or a little bit above 2% in Europe. Yeah, in America it's at the moment 2.7%. Okay, that's okay. But just calculate inflation. Yeah, if the inflation would be 3% annually, 3% annually, 3%. That means after 10 years, that €1,000, will be equal as €1,400, €1,500 in 10 years. That is inflation. So you need €1,500 to buy back the same thing as you bought 10 years ago. But if you buy today a 7.1 receiver, or those crappy receivers or amplifiers they sell in the shop for €1,100 at the moment, after 10 years the value is nothing. 500, 400, 300. You lose. But this thing in 10 years, well, I think it will be doubled in price. I think it will be about 3,000, 2.5, 3,000 euro. The SX1250 in 10 years will be 5,000. Yeah. Believe me, my friends, it will be 5,000 euro. Yeah. And this thing will be 2.5, 3,000 euro in 10 years time. So not only you bring a beautiful sound in your house, a beautiful piece of furniture, a beautiful sounding thing, beautiful, my friends, I tell you, beautiful. But after 10 years of usage, if you want something else, you doubled your money. Yeah, so let me see. I have some messages. Well, I'm very happy to be back. Yeah, no, I was in the hospital. I'm not, somebody thought I was dead. Yeah, I understand. I was in the hospital. I was in Serbia, and with my grandkids. They live in Belgrade at the moment. And I was in Serbia with my grandkids, and I had pain in my chest again. Next day I went to the hospital, so they keep me for 4 days, and they discovered I have 2 veins. One is closed for 70%, and the other one is closed for 50% again. So that means in 1 year and 1.5 year about, I will have my next heart attack, because this is how these creeps working, they know. I also I was 4 days in the hospital. Then they discover, okay, you didn't had a heart attack, yeah, but one vein is closed for 70%, one vein is closed for 50%, and they told me they do not place a stent in that vein from 70% closed when it is not 80% closed. And they have the same rule in the Netherlands. So probably it is a worldwide rule that they have. We only place a stent if a vein is 80% closed or above. Yeah. So then I asked my cardiologist in the Netherlands when I came. So when I have my new stent, I said, and then he told me, what he told me, when you have your next heart attack, because we do not check in the between time. So I will have a new heart attack soon. And if I have this heart attack in daytime, yeah, I can survive it. But if I have it while I'm sleeping, I'm dead. Yeah, this is a heart attack, my friends. So I'm not sure if I'm alive and I have two. One is 50% closed. That one will come in 4 years from now. 4 years, 5 years from now, that one is 100% closed. Yeah, so then I will have another heart attack. So I'm lucky to be alive, to be honest. I'm lucky. I have two heart attacks. I'm lucky to be alive, but I'm not sure. Probably when you don't hear in 2 years, you don't hear nothing from me on my YouTube channel, probably I will be dead. I told my daughter, never close my YouTube channel if I'm dead, because in a way, my grandkids can watch my videos back if they want to see me. I mean, in the past, when you want to see people from the past, you need a picture book. Open the picture book. Those things are big and heavy. And at the moment, you have digital pictures, but they can always watch me back in my videos, So as a memory. Now, I told her, do not take away my YouTube channel, So anyway, BNO Pass Penta. Well, yeah, Penta passives, they are very good speakers. But yeah, you can be lucky. You can be lucky if you are a good hunter. A good hunter, you can be very lucky. Yeah. So, my friends, you cannot believe that I have this SX1250 already a few months in my house. I took it back. I didn't have it for 3 years. 3 years it was on repair. And I didn't even connect it because I do not have that feeling that I love that thing very much. I have it, but maybe if I connect it, I'm also in love on the sound. Not sure. Not sure. I love that Sansui G9000 layout. Not sure why I don't like that SX1250. Not sure. Everybody said to me, because I had the plan to sell it, Andrew, never sell it. Are you crazy? Why sell everything else but not that SX1250? So I made the plan never to sell it. Just keep it, keep this one. This one will never leave my house because of the sound. I don't think that SX1250 will sound better, but I will do a test. Because the sound of this thing, really, when I heard the sound, I think, wow, is this possible? How can a Fisher sound like this? Made on the Sanyo, yeah? Made on the Sanyo. The new price was the same as the SX1250, the same price, same period, same price. About 3,000 German mark, 3,300 guilder. Yeah. I think in America they were about 1,000, around 1,000 US dollar. But that was a different time. The dollar was much stronger. The dollar collapsed, not collapsed. America did a downgrade themselves, in 1980, 81. And that's when the whole period, the golden period of audio collapsed because of the devaluation of the dollar. That was the only reason, my friends. The dollar went, I think, 30%, 30% downgraded in value, the dollar. And from that moment on, these receivers were too expensive for America. And that was the end of the, yeah, of the golden period, because simply Japanese could not make these receivers. Okay, they still made nice equipment, you know, plenty equipment, plenty good, nice equipment, but in a way they had to cut. They had to cut expenses, so they had to make those receivers and amplifiers cheaper, because the dollar was cheaper. So, you know what I mean? So, in comparison with the Japanese yen, and all these machines were made in Japan. Japan was, in fact, the first China. What China is today, Japan was in 1985 for America, you know. And in America, it was already too expensive to build these machines. I mean, if this machine was built in America, the price wouldn't be 3,000 German mark, but maybe 4,000, yeah, 4,500 German mark, because the American wages are too expensive, you know, and it was already too expensive, the dollar. And I mean, the Japanese yen was cheap, and that's why these things were, you could buy for 3,000 German mark or 1,000 American dollar, yeah, because they were made in Japan. But anyway, so after 80, 81, that period was finished. The period of the big monster receivers. It only had to do with the dollar devaluation, my friends, with nothing else. Not like that people lost interest in these things. No, people still had interest in the 80s in these machines, only they were too expensive to build. So they were only built 4 years. The monsters were built between 1976 and 1980. So 4 years. A short period from 4 years. Yeah. So if you can score one of those 15 monsters, you are good. And I'm not sure how they sound. I'm not sure how is the sound of a Kenwood KR9050. I'm not sure. I don't believe that sound will be good, but I can be wrong. I was wrong with this. I didn't expect that the Fisher would sound nice. So I'm not sure how they sound, but what I know is that every brand placed their maximum technology. They do their utmost best to let that top of the line receiver sound best. You know why? They didn't make money with the monsters. The big profit from every brand, it doesn't matter if it was Fisher, Pioneer, Marantz, or the big money they make to sell the smaller receivers. But the thing was, everybody saw and followed the tests of the monsters. And if the monster was tested as sublime or superb, of course, the monsters were very, very expensive, so not everybody could afford the monsters. But then they had more trust in buying a smaller receiver of the same series. I mean, everybody dreamt of a SX1250, but that was top of the line. The SX1250 was top of the line it was one of the first monsters, top of the line. But not everybody could afford a SX1250, but everybody knew the SX1250. But eventually they went to the shop, they bought a 450, a 550, a 650, or a 750, or maybe even an 850 or a 950, what they could afford. Yeah. So in a way, the monsters were not made to make profit. No, the monsters were the advertisement hangout boards for every brand. This is what we can offer you. You know, this is how far our sounds go, how beautiful our machines can sound, and everybody tried to make every monster made as beautiful as possible. That's why they are so rare. They were too expensive in the past, and at the moment, yeah. If you own a monster, only one, you should be happy. You only eventually you only need one machine. And so if I would choose, somebody would say, okay, you can only a new law, you know, government law. You can only have one receiver in your house. Due to I don't know what kind of rule. I would take this one. I would take this one because it is mint, and the SX1250 I have above is not mint. No, I like mint stuff, my friends. Beautiful. I love this. Unbelievable, unbelievable. I love this turquoise lightning. Okay, two bulbs are out in this lightning, and it is, you know, daytime. You cannot see it. And I just love it. I just love it. Beautiful, beautiful. Beautiful, 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 my friends. And believe me, I'm talking now for 71 minutes. And I thought, my friends, my last video was already placed on YouTube. I still have many mails, and I don't want to answer all these mails, you know. Andrew, you're still making videos. Andrew, when can we see your next video? I don't say I have them every day, but I can say I have them weekly. Weekly I have those mails, and to be honest, I don't bother to answer those mails anymore. I don't have the power to answer them, you know. And I don't know what to explain in those videos. I explain you now that, in fact, I was not sure. I was already for a few years, for 2-3 years, slowing down, making videos, because, you know, 15 years, my friends. I mean, come on. At a certain moment, it was too much for the same thing, you know. I mean, I didn't have the feeling I brought something new out for you guys. I didn't have fun in it anymore. I still love the scorings videos, you know, and to make those ones, but I don't score anymore. I will score in the future maybe one, maximum two things a year, if I can, because I will not score speakers anymore. I'm happy with my Heikos, and if I will ever replace these Heikos, that will be for the Nubert Nuvero 170. So Nubert, Nubert, German brand, Nuvero 170. They are now second-hand, well, in Germany around 5,000 euro the pair, and I saw one pair in Austria for 4,000, but 4,000, I want to pay, eventually I want to change my speakers for those Nuvero's 170s, not the 160 or the 140. I only want the 170 top of the line. They are 86 kilo, and they are 1 meter 68 centimeters high, so monsters. But I just want those speakers, and probably you never heard of that brand, Nubert. If you live in America, you never heard of it. But those speakers I want, and not BMW, not GBL, my friends. I want those Nuberts, yeah. And my speakers are still have a value from 1,500, so I have to place 2,000 euro extra, yeah. But I don't want to pay more than 3,500, and the second-hand price is not 3,500 yet. Maybe in a few years, maybe in 2-3 years, if I'm still alive, if I see a set in Germany, and I can lend a car what can manage 1 meter 70 centimeter speakers, because my car cannot handle those speakers, then I will change those speakers. I will keep the Marantz KL17A or LS17A, those monster woofers. I will refoam, I will keep those, and I will sell these magnets and the cantons, and I will keep the magnet 06. Only these three speakers I will keep, and the rest I will sell, because I want that stereo room, I want completely empty, yeah, for when my grandkids are coming over to visit grandpapa, grandfather, or or to sleep over. I need a special room for them, and so the stereo room will be gone, and the monsters I will collect. They will be in my living room. You understand? How much monsters I can have? 2, 3, 4 maximum. Yeah. So, and then I will. To be honest, I was already stopped to make videos. Yeah. And I only came back for this, to show you this thing, because I want to share my love, my discovery, because I see this as a discovery. I see this as a discovery that there are still monsters for good price. Yeah, I think there are 2 for sale now in Germany for 1,500. In America, they are for sale around 1,500 euro. And I know what a lot of people who are in this hobby, they're thinking 1,500 for a Fisher. No, no, no. But all those guys who never heard the Fisher, who never heard this SR 1080, if they would have the guts to drive to that place, to connect it, bring their favorite speakers with them, and to listen that sound over their favorite speakers, they are sold. They are sold, because this thing sings. This thing is sonic, my friends. The sound is sonic. Unbelievable for 1,100 euro. Hello. Yes, I lost some weight. I'm 112 kilo at the moment, coming from 140. I was around 140, 138. So I lost a lot. Yeah. Yeah, you can see it, eh? Yeah. I went from XXXL shirt. I'm now XL. XL. And soon I hope to be on L. Yeah. I lost a lot of weight, my friends. Yeah. And that's not because I am yeah, I am since 2 months, 2.5 months. Yeah, I have a swimming pool and gym over here. I only went 2 weeks. Last 2 months I didn't went, but I do diet, my friends. I don't eat candies anymore. I only drink water. Before I drank zero cola, cola zero. Stop with that too. Only water. And my coffee, still my coffee. And I do not eat rice anymore, only 1 time a week. Before I eat everyday rice, I still eat candies, but compared with what I eat every day, I eat a bag of chips, I don't eat that anymore, Sometimes, but sometimes you can spoil yourself. But slowly I go down, slowly, without Ozempic. Yeah. I don't want that crap. I mean, first of all, if when I was 140 kilo, everybody told me, you can make your stomach smaller and blah, blah, blah. I said, are you crazy? You think I'm going to take a risk to make an operation? Well, I can do it on myself, my own power, And then that Ozempic, but I did it all on myself. So not even gym. Yeah, sometimes I can go, walking. I walk 3 times a week. Yeah, not very long distance, maybe half an hour, 45 minutes, 3 times a week, 4 times a week sometimes, yeah. I go to the shopping center every day. I have to go to the shopping center now to buy some bread. Walking, yeah. And so that's how I did it. Not with Ozempic, my friends, because Ozempic, when you stop with Ozempic, first of all, it's very expensive. Okay, the insurance in the Netherlands pay for it, so I don't have to pay that money myself. If I want Ozempic, I go to my doctor. He will subscribe it for me. But and I know many people who lost weight because of Ozempic. But my friends, when you stop with that Ozempic, you will gain again. You understand what I mean? So that's why it is the best to do it on your own willpower. Everything is between you here, you know, and you have to be very strong to let that food. Don't take it in the supermarket in your bucket. You know, let it over there. You know, you have to be very strong mentally. It is more a losing weight is a mental thing. You understand what I mean? You have to be strong. And Ozempic, they push something in your body. It can never be good, my friends. If you are very fat, you need it, because if you are too fat, it's also very bad for your health. Maybe I can say use that Ozempic, you know, use it. But for me, I was 138. I thought, okay. The moment when I start losing weight, I was 135. I could not even fit in a small car, you know. Terrible, my friends. My face was like, you know, yeah, I feel much better now. I'm not there yet. I'm still 20 kilos too much, but I feel very good. And because why I stopped also hunting, since I do not hunt anymore. I mean, if you want to score things, you know, that means every single free moment of your time, you have to follow that marketplace for a bargain. Yeah, that's how I scored so many things. Everybody think, how this guy can score so many things sitting behind the computer. And that's why my legs were very thick. I didn't walk, didn't have. And since I stopped with making videos, scoring, my health improved. I lost weight, my health improved. So that's one of the most important reasons. Also, I think, okay, I know everything. I know what I want in sound, which speakers I want, but what I have. It is not easy if you are a real audio lover to discover your sound, because that's why a audio lover is never satisfied. That's why an audio lover, when he is happy today, tomorrow he is unhappy, because they always want better, you know. I mean, it is like an athlete who just made a new world record. The day after, they are not happy with that time. They want a lower time, a better time, because they want to, you know, to improve themselves. And whenever you have a nice sound in your house, every audio lover knows this. You are already, at the moment, you are buying this thing, you already have in your head, but my next thing. Because you know you are as an audio, I don't say audiophile, because audiophile, this is a different group. Audio lovers, sound lovers, they are never satisfied. And at a certain moment, my friends, you have to draw a line, you know. Where do I stop? You know, I'm happy with the Heikos. Yeah, but I know if those Nubers are selling, as soon as they're selling below 3,500, I will get them. Maybe I'm lucky. I see a set in Germany is cheap because they don't sell them in the Netherlands. Maybe I'm happy. I see a set very cheap, 3,500 in the near future. Maybe this year, maybe next year. I buy them. I sell these ones. Difference from €2,000. You only live once. how many years I have left, so I can enjoy those new, but I will enjoy, of course, more than these Heikos are, believe me, my friends, the best I ever had in my house. All those speakers I had in those years, these are by far the best. Not always, when I did sound tests, you could hear that difference. Yeah. For example, oh yeah, those speakers I will also keep. The BNS E5, Dutch brand. BNS, so the N from Nico. BNS E5. I think the studio engineers did never heard that speaker, because in fact that is the best studio monitor. It wasn't sold as a studio monitor, but that speaker is the best studio monitor I ever heard, because in fact it is a studio monitor. The BNS E5. The balance is perfect. I miss the bass, but studio monitors do not need bass. No, they do not need a heavy punching bass. They don't need that. No. A studio monitor needs one thing, a perfect balance. Yeah? It is not a dynamic speaker. Another speaker where what I would use in my house. But if you want to listen, and if you want to listen, you want to hear your music, in the most balanced way, that BNS E5 is my best speaker, not the Heikos. The Heikos are colored, colored on my taste. Yeah, so if you ever, I scored my BNS E5 for free. In 30 kilometers drive. I had to walk stairs. In that period, I was fat. I had to walk 2 times for free. I didn't expect much from them. And then I discovered, oh my God, these speakers sound so beautiful. And because they are so good balanced, when I did the VS test, BNS E5 VS my Heiko, a lot of you guys told me, hey, those BNS sounds better. True, in balance. But that's because the microphone doesn't pick up those bass sounds, If you are sitting here, if you hear them without microphone, just with your ears, the Heiko wins, because the Heiko have dynamic, go deep, But if you heard them in a way a studio producer would listen, he needs balanced speakers, They are the best balance, even better than those, Yamaha, those small Yamahas. I sold them for €600. Terrible sounding speakers. But perfect for the studio because they are so balanced, perfect. But I would never have them for free, even for free in my house, But then this guy, this studio engineer, he explained me why. I asked him, why you pay 600 for these lousy speakers, Yamaha speakers, with white woofers. I don't know if you remember them, with small speakers with white woofers. Why you pay? My Magnat sounds better. And he told me, look, I need to mix my sound. And if they sound perfect on these studio monitors, then the sound is beautiful on living room speakers. Because there is a difference between living room speakers and studio monitors. And I'm telling you, those JBL L100s or 4,312 A's I had, people pay these days €1,500 the pair. They're lousy speakers, my friends. Lousy speakers. Lousy. If you buy them, you do not know what is sound. You only read forums. Oh, I'm a vintage lover. I want vintage speakers. And JBL is the best. Probably you have good JBLs, the very expensive one with the big woofers. And, you have good sounding, but the JBL L100, what they ask now, 1,500 euro, or the 4,312. Lousy speakers, my friends, lousy. They are not. My Magnat sounds better. Paid 150 euro for them. Paid sounds much better. My Canton, not every speaker, but almost every speaker I had here sounded better than those crappy sounding GPLs. But for one reason, I heard people saying, we want to hear the sound the artist meant it to sound for us. They do not know what they're talking about. First of all, in the past, when you had a studio, the complete band with the singer went in the studio and they recorded that sound, you know. It was never perfect because there was always one little mistake, and sometimes it said, okay, leave that mistake, do it all over again, you know. And that singers, you know, had to repeat that song again. Nowadays, they make songs, so studio songs, how they make it. The guy with the trumpetist comes and he sings his part. Pop, 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 pop. The drummer comes, he plays his part. You know, put it on that track. The guitarist comes, and then they play it on a different track, you know. And that guitar, oh, I make a mistake, I do it over again. Oh, I do the mistake, I do it over again. This is how they nowadays record songs. And then the singer comes. On the end, the singer comes. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. In the past, so in the 50s and in the 60s, I'm not sure, also in the 70s, I think, yeah, they recorded a song with the complete band. The musicians and the singers all together. And the thing is, the singer or the artist, not one artist went into a studio and said, I want to be my song sound like this. No, it was the sound engineer who gave the last touch on every record, the sound engineer. That's why some studios, you know, the studios from the Sting, for example, they had the best. I mean, if you go to a stereo shop, a good, decent stereo shop, they have those albums, those CDs, what sound perfect, with the perfect sounding balanced, you know. Every shop have the same songs, you know. They all have Sade, you know, the black female singer, because that one, they have Sting. Yeah. Because that studio engineer did a perfect job. It was his job. Not because of the artist, because if the artist did the same recording in a crappy studio, the sound would never be that beautiful. It is because of the sound artist. What material did the sound artist or the sound engineer had? You know, nothing to do what people think. It is how the artist wanted us to hear the sound. There's not one artist who, when they are in the studio, is thinking, I want, the guys who buy my records want, even the artist didn't had a perfect sound in his house. Come on, man, what are you talking about? And every studio engineer you're gonna talk with, I talk with a few in life. You know, I was in studios because I had, you know, I have friends with bands. I told you before, you know. So I was in studios. I talk with these guys all the time, and I see how they are recording. They need good studio monitors to make their, you know, they cannot make their mix with my Heiko, so impossible. They cannot make that mix. They need balanced. And from that balance, they can work, you know, go to the left, go lesser bass, more bass, more mids, lesser mids. They need balance. So they want a perfect balanced sound. Yeah. Not that it sounds too hard. Well, nowadays there are music popular, what is overpowered guitars. You know, you heard that distortion. Some people like it, some people not. But this is how the studio engineer wants you to. The studio engineer wants you to hear that sound overpowered. That you know, especially with those guitars. Yeah. Anyway, studio monitors are not good for the living room, my friends. And those they say, yeah, those L100s were not studio monitors. They were built as studio monitors. Believe everything, Altec or Altec GBL, the same thing. No, they're not. It is not a beautiful sound, my friends. And I'm honest to you. This sound, the sound of this thing, try to find a amplifier with this sound. You will not manage. You will not manage to find a amplifier with the same equality below 4,000-5,000 euro in the shop. No, 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 no. No, you cannot find it. And then you have an ugly thing, when it breaks down on you, believe me, my friends, my repair guys cannot repair it, you know, so it has to go back to the factory if it is out of warranty. I heard people, they pay 2,000-3,000 euro repair costs. 2,000-3,000 repair costs to fix it after 10 years, 15 years. Crazy. Because they want to make profit. They are profit makers, you know. A simple repair guy, not simple, but a repair guy who can repair every vintage machine you bring, unless the transformer is broken, of course, or some parts he cannot order anymore. Like this thing have some ICs from Sanyo. You read Sanyo. If he already told me, if those things broke, I cannot repair it for you. But they will not broke because they have an everlast. I mean ECs, I don't mean pots, you know. They last forever. Or you can find them on eBay, you know, parts as parts. But he told me everything from this thing he can repair. Everything from a Marantz he can repair, from Pioneer. But the transformer, if those things broke, it will be very hard to repair. And but those modern things, he cannot repair. This not one repair guy can make them. They have to go back to the factory where they were built, and then they will ask you. Yeah, so don't think when you buy. That's why I'm afraid. I'm an Acquphase lover. Yeah, I saw that Acquphase 408. 3,000 is a good price. 408, not that old. 18 years old. Beautiful sound. But when it is broken, there's nobody who can repair it for me. My repair guys say, I don't do this. I have to bring it to Acquphase. And Acquphase say, okay, we ship it to Japan. They will repair it for you there. I have to pay for the shipping cost, of course, repair cost over there. If it breaks down on me, you know, it will cost you another minimum 1,500 euro, 2,000 euro. The risk is too big, you know, to buy something second-hand, yeah. 18 years old for 3,000, what is unrepairable by your normal repair guys. That's why I had a dream from Acquphase, but you need to be a rich guy. You can, 2,000 costs for repair, no problem. I paid the 2,000. I'll write a check for you. I say, hey, there you go. No problem. Why repair it? But I'm not in that situation that if a Acquphase 408 breaks on me, I can deliver 2,000. Yes, I can pay it, but that means the 2,000 what I spent on repair cost, or 3,000, don't know. If you're lucky at 2,000. I have to budgeting my money on another way, you know what I mean, to come up with that 3,000. You know, there's a lot of money for me. But some guys, 3,000, nothing. I pay a check, but yeah. So Acquphase is not for me. My repair guy said, John, you know what is the best Acquphase? The E202. I had that one. He did a fully recap for me, beautiful sounding, but I didn't like the looks. Too simple. I like this thing much more. This thing I like so much more beautiful. 60. It is not only a monster in power, but it's only also a monster in yeah in sound, in weight, in everything. It is a monster, my friend. In everything, this receiver, and because of this receiver, I came back. Hey, Roderick, how are you? Yeah, Roderick, nice to see you also. But because of this Fisher, I had to let. I want to share my findings, and for the guys, for you who also looking for a vintage thing, not sure what vintage thing, because there is much. Save a little bit more. Maybe if your budget is 500 euros, save a little bit more and try to find a Fisher when they are still cheap, because they will not stay cheap. After my video, when I make my video, that will be the first review from a Fisher SR 1080. The first, there's not even a written review. Just go on Google, the SR1. The crap these people write. It is there is a guy who write down, yeah, it is only a pity, it is a Darlington. It's not Darlington packed, it's just normal power transistors. How these people, probably this guy don't even have the machine. Why you make a review if you make lies? It is Darlington packs. Come on, man. And I also read, I said, John, there's one problem, it's Darlington. I said, really? Open it. So then I opened it. I said, no, it's not Darlington. It's just, you're right. So that's the only thing I came back. This, I had to share it with you, that this, yeah, I mean, it is a beauty. It is a beautiful monster. Okay, guys, I don't have so much time. I have to go to the shop and then clean my house, because I want my house clean. My living room, my kitchen, and my bedroom I have to clean. Upstairs is already clean. And that's today, Saturday. I have to do some things in my house, and I will not be online. This video will comes, let me see, not within 3 months. Not within 3 months. I do not make this video. Probably this video will come in May, and if I do not able in May, it will come in October. This video from the SR. I will make 2 videos: the review, the sound test, and a VS test between that SX1250 I have upstairs. That one is also recapped. But then this one is also recapped. That is in principle, I do not have to recap it. I do not have to do this. But it have a humming sound over the speakers. And then I was very upset, but not also very upset, because I know that John will recap it, and probably the humming sound will be over. But then I discovered why. This is the reason, my friends. This is the original wire. So a lot of these old stereo receivers have just 2 wires. They are not grounded, but this one is grounded. And you see they leave the ground out, and I will place a brand new cable, much thicker one than this one, with a new socket, wall socket on it, and a beautiful 1.5 meter wire, thicker wire than this one. And John will do that for me, because this one is crappy, of course. It is a crappy, and that's why it is humming, because it is not grounded, as you can see. It needs to be grounded, and that's the reason why it is humming. And but you hardly heard the humming sound. Only when it is on 0, you heard the humming sound. So I don't mind. Anyway, this thing, oh, it is unbelievable, unbelievable, the sound. And even if the sound was not as good as it is, let's say, on par with that Marantz 2330, I would be very happy. I would be very happy, yeah. But this sounds so much better than that Marantz 2330. And that Marantz 2330, as you all knows, is, well, according to John, it's not the best. He's the Marantz specialist, not the best sounding Marantz sound. But and John also told me, never buy a Marantz 2500. Never buy a Marantz 2600s because they have many issues. He can't repair if they broke down, and they often broke down. So then you invest 4,000 or 5,000 euro in a Marantz 2500. Yeah, you think, oh, this is my end goal, my end receiver. I will never need a upgrade again. I have my Marantz 2500 or 2600. And then the issues come, the problems come. Not everything is repairable from a 2500. John told me, never buy. Or you can buy it for very cheap. Buy it to resell it, make profit. But never buy it for yourself if you think it will make you happy. It will make you happy for a while. But when the thing breaks down on you, it will give you a very big headache because it's not repairable. So keep that in mind. And according to John, he saw the layout for, I think, 30 minutes. 30 minutes we were talking. He saw it. Give me a close-up from that piece. Give him a close-up. He saw some issues on the motherboard. It's easy and very cheap to repair. But then I told him, you know what, John, it's not necessary. I will do a complete recap. How much will it cost me? He oversaw the thing, and he told me 350 euro, what is very cheap, because the layout is very cheap. Or maybe he made a good price for me. Maybe for another guy who would charge 500, 550 euro, not sure, because it's not an easy job, my friends. Not an easy job, but okay. Anyway, I think he is also curious because he never had this fissure. Never, even not a 1060, never had one. He had 2500, he had 2385, he had all Marantzes, he had all Pioneers, even the 1980. But this thing is very rare. It is not only that, and that's why people don't know about it. If people talk about monster receivers, nobody is talking about a fissure. Because they were not sold, or just a few were sold, yeah? Because they were too expensive. They had the same price as the SX1250, yeah? And most people in that period went for the Pioneer or a Marantz or a Sansui, yeah, but at the same price than this thing. Because what is Fisher? I think, okay, Fisher. It's everything to do with it. This brand name, Fisher. Everybody knew it was from Sanyo, Sanyo was crappy, yeah. So everybody preferred, no, I go for Pioneer. No, let's skip the Fisher. Let's go for the Marantz. Let's go for the Sansui, And that's why this thing was sold very bad. Only a few people who took the time to really listen in that shop between the difference between this one and, for example, a 1250 or a 2385, yeah. And those people probably bought it, or people who just love the layout, the special layout this thing had, yeah. Everybody his own taste. So these fissures are, you have plenty SX1250, plenty. So only because it is so rare and the sound is as good and maybe even better than my G9000, yeah. And it is so rare. It is more easy to score a G9000 and a Fisher, my friends. You do not have many. In principle, because of the sound, it should cost 2,500. But because it is so rare, especially in Europe, you know, it should cost 3,500, 4,000 euro. Believe me, my friends, what I'm telling you now. Once after my videos, everybody will knows about the Fisher. Everybody will knows that it's not a crappy thing. No, this thing sounds beautiful, fantastic. This, because, hey, there's a scratch over here, or is it dirt? Let me see. No, it is dirt. Because of the beauty, because of the sound, I made my comeback. Just a small comeback, my friend. Don't expect from me. I start making videos again over and over, and you know, I'm so in love on this thing. It's unbelievable. Okay, I can live with this. With this thing, of course, the power cable is here. He went with a scissor, you know, to cut the power cable and then damage over here. Yeah. Because the power cable is just unbelievable, this thing. Yeah. And then the tuner. You know what John told me? He saw that. Why is this tuner board so big? And then he discovered some things. He said, you know, I discovered this, I discovered this. I cannot repeat him because it was all technical thing. He said, Marantz don't have that. I don't know one Marantz who had that. That's why that tuner is so strong. Because...
dat je nog steeds de meerderheid hebt. Op een gegeven moment verlies jij de meerderheid.
Een brandbrief van de teleurgestelde PVV'ers vond geen gehoor bij partijbaas Wilders. De Kamerleden verweten hem onder meer dat hij een slechte verkiezingscampagne heeft gevoerd en dat zijn politieke koep.
In de visie vandaag is FC Twente. Zij nemen het op tegen Excelsior om 9 uur vanavond. En dan is er ook nog één wedstrijd in de keukenkampioen-divisie. Straks om 4:30 FCM.
Vanavond komst naar mij. Wat fijn dat je er bent, Adriaan.
De getallen variëren een beetje, maar de markt die wij nu beketeren is denk ik wereldwijd iets van 60 miljard.
Mm-hmm.
Daar kijk ik naar uit. En voor ons bestaande bands ter wereld. In de 60s succesvol, in de 70s succesvol, in de 80s zeker succesvol.
Unbelievable. Yeah, Roderick. They multi-track those in those studios. Yeah, but there was a time, I think in the 50s. If you watch that movie Cadillac Records, that movie you will see Etta James, not at the real Etta James, but Beyonce. You see, there's a mess in my house because my table was full of stuff and I put all that stuff over there. But I have to clean my house because tomorrow I have a woman in my house, so I have to clean it. You know, everything the counts, everything have to be clean again. Yeah. So anyway, that movie Cadillac Records. Just remember that name. Go on YouTube. Go on. I'm not sure, Netflix. Cadillac Records. If you love music, blues, soul, beautiful movie, my friends, Cadillac Records. And then there you see that the complete band, because that song from Etta James is recorded in 1962, huh? 1965. Yeah. In that period, they didn't record on track 1, track 2, track 3, track 4, 5, 6. They just recorded the complete band, you know. But I have the original, Etta James song over here, I'd Rather Go Blind, on an album, also from Cadillac Records. Believe me, for me, it's my most valuable record I have, the album from Etta James, recorded on, why? Because I saw the movie, you know, with Beyonce, not the real Etta James. Etta James was very old, you know, I think she was 78 when that movie came out, you know, so not suitable for the movie, but Etta James' voice, you know, she sung the songs from Etta James. Etta James was not happy at all with Beyonce, because Etta James thought that because of Beyonce, she missed some gigs, because she was still Etta James performed until her death, you know. I mean, as long as a singer's voice is good, they can perform, make money, and to connect with the audience, you know. That's why Mick Jagger is still a performer. I mean, he don't need the money anymore, you know. In principle, he's too weak for those shows, but they missed the things, the contact with their audience. They missed that. Like I, to be honest, I don't want to make, but I missed this, you know, the interaction I miss. This is the only thing I miss. I don't miss making the videos, but the interaction I have with my audience is what I miss. And in a way, most artists lose their voice after a certain age. It depends how they use their voice. If they use it over their throat, they're gone. They're finished. In 60 years old, they're finished. You know, they lost their voice. If they used their voice on a proper way, so from here around, you know, and up, they can still perform when they are 70, 80 years old. Only their voice will not be that strong anymore, you know, but the voice will still be beautiful. And that's why most artists never stop performing, because they miss that attention. Come on, man, if you're sitting in your house, you know, I can still perform, I can still be on stage, even if I'm 75 years old. Maybe not so much as before, but once a year you need a live show to, you know, as an artist, you know, as an artist. That's when I talk with older artists, what I know. I know one, she is now 71, she's still singing. Yeah, she missed that attention, but also, yeah, because not everybody make good money as an artist, or they drink it, or they a woman, or you know what, they spend the money on, they need the money, simple. And yeah, print plates, that's what they do now, Roderick, you're completely right. And that's why I'm afraid for a Acquphase 408, even if it is only 3,000, what is in principle very cheap. 3,000 for an Acquphase 408, but yeah, I prefer buying for that €3,000 G9000 or a SX1280. Yeah, that one I know. If it blows out on me, I can repair it. And I know in 5 years, if I need money, I can resell it for more, make profit. But the Acquphase, you cannot make profit, you know. Air Pete Soul. Nice to see you too. I sold the Bose speakers last week, 2 weeks ago. I sold the Marantz 3 weeks ago also, yeah. And I sold that complete rack I had. I only kept the Marantz devices and the Yamaha CR8020 and that turntable, that Taurus turntable. Yeah. But I'm not a turntable guy, so I'm not sure why I keep those turntables. I have to sell them too. But no, I'm not a turntable guy. I have turntables, and the thing is, I don't have the space for my records over here. I use Blue Sound Noder too high, so I use Spotify. And that's what I'm using, Spotify. And 80% of the time I spin radio through the air. So through the air, not cable. Because the sound of through the air, for one reason, not sure, I like more that sound than that digital radio sound. I'm not sure why. I like more that over the air. That some, I cannot explain you. I'm not a cassette lover. Yeah, I could score with this thing also the most expensive Fisher cassette deck ever made. It was part of this, not part, it was broken, but of course the rubber belts, 50 euro, I could take it. I said no. Also my mother passed away last year. So I took all my cassette tapes. My mother also didn't spin cassettes anymore, but see, I threw all my cassette tapes away, but my mother kept them under her bed. I took them all. I have them back. What to do with them? Would I ever spin cassettes again? No, my friends. All that music, I can make maps on Spotify, you know. So why would I? No. The only reason I see these, I'm now hunting for a CD changer, a Sony CD changer which can place 400 CDs inside, 400 CDs. That's what I want. You know, just, I don't know why. It's the only CD I want, you know, for to place, because all my mother's CDs I now have. And many CDs I bought for her. All my Suriname CDs, I had a complete collection. I give the complete collection to her, you know. And I have those CDs back. So I have many CDs now. So I want to listen, but the only way I don't have one working CD player. I tried them out, all of them, not one working one. And I want that CD changer, so 300 or 400 CDs inside. I don't want these empty CD boxes in my living room. I just want them all in that machine, but they are expensive. You know, the 400 CD changer costs 500-600 euro. Yeah, so, and I don't know, even the sound will not be on par or equal with a decent CD player, you know. Because if a CD players also play DVDs, then the sound quality is not, I'm not sure, but I think I will miss some quality with a CD changer. But, you know, for the looks, I don't, well, those empty CD boxes, 400 empty CD boxes, where to leave them? In a corner, in those, if you need a CD, I have to take a CD out. Now everything is in one machine, but they are expensive, not cheap. So I'm hunting for one of them now. So anyway, there's not much I hunt for these days. Speakers, no. I have my speakers. And anyway, guys, I need to go to the shop. The shops are closing, so I have to go to buy my bread, if they still have bread. And thanks for watching this very long 2 hours live recording. I hope you understand me why I stopped making videos. Yeah, my life goes on. I'm a new phase in my life. Grandkids, my new hobby. And I'm not a person, today I make 5, this month I make 5 videos. I take a break for 5 months or 3 months, busy with my kids or something else. Or I do something and I do it all the way. I cannot do things half. This is me. I cannot concentrate, start my YouTube channel again just for a few videos, for 5 videos a year. I make every week one video, or I don't do it at all. You understand? This is just a came back. Just you have to thank the Fisher. You know, the Fisher is so beautiful. It's beautiful sound, unbelievable sound. The sonic sound is incredible. And the first one who will notice this too will be John de Recht, my repair guy. He will have it also in his house. Hey, where is that thing? Yeah, because I cleaned everything. But it was just some dirt. I cleaned everything, my friends. I cleaned everything, but it doesn't have scratches. It is completely mint. Completely mint. Only here. This I cannot take away. And then here, this thing. Yeah. And then over there, so. But for the rest, I mean, come on, man. 61 centimeters, 33 kilo. And the sonic sound, a beautiful, beautiful sound. No, I understand, I completely understand why this thing wasn't sold. It's just logical, you understand? Use your brains, and then you discover, what I told you is absolutely, I don't have written proof, you know, just use your brains why the Fisher is so rare. Why this Fisher is so rare, yeah. Why they are so cheap on the second-hand market. Yeah, you can score in America 1,500, yeah. You can score them in Europe, same thing, 1,500. Between 13 and 1,500 you can score them. So why is that half of the price? Why are they half of the price of a Pioneer SX1250? Because they are not people. They are so rare. They are so rare. For the reason I already told you they are rare, because people they prefer the Pioneer, Marantz, and Sansi. They go for brands they trust. Nobody knows what was Fisher. Fisher under Sanyo. Nobody trusted Fisher under Sanyo. Yeah, so same money. They had the same new price as a SX1250. Of course, 9 of 10 people would go for, no, not 9 of 10. 99 out of 100 will go for a Pioneer, Marantz, a Sancho, or another brand instead of a Fisher. Because what is Fisher? But I just told you what is Fisher. The sound is just incredible. My friends, incredible sound. Yeah, that's all you have to know. Thanks for watching this live recording. You know, I was planning to sell my cameras, not even know if the batteries are still working after 1 year not of use. Yeah, so anyway, this is how I can make video now with my mobile life. Yeah, finish my YouTube hobby. But that sound hobby, well, because of that 2230, I thought I had the best, or one of the best. I mean, a Marantz 2330 is it's supposed to be a good sounding thing. Rare, expensive, and it fits on my audio table. But didn't make me happy. And some things didn't make. I didn't have the SX1250. I just recently took that back. You know, that SX12. I just picked it up a few weeks ago. I think. Yeah. I didn't had something else to. Yeah. I have here a Yamaha M70 power amp. You know, but I already know that sound is not the sound I like. No. I will also resell that thing. Yeah. So now I have the SX1250 and this one. 2 things. And to be honest, I think I will spin only this. I don't think, because I heard the 950, and I think that I'm not sure the 950 is okay. Also, it's also very good sounding, but I have the 9100. That thing is working okay. So the amplifier 9100, and I heard. What I heard with the 9100, and I think the 9100 will sound like every other Pioneer, I recognize a sound, a certain sound most Pioneers have, you know, like the sound Marantz have, most Marantzes have that sound. I blindfolded can recognize a Marantz 2330 or a 2265. If it is standing between Pioneer, Sansui and other brands, you know, I recognize that sound of a Marantz immediately blindfolded. Pioneer have the same thing, I recognize it. But this Fisher, this sound I never heard before, first time. And you know what, when I heard this sound, this is equal quality as my G9000, Sansui G9000. This beautiful is it. Clean, my friends, clean. Punchy bass, but that just the good balance. And you know, of course, my Cantons and my Magnat need some extra bass, and then I discovered with this thing I can just, you know, switch over here and give it some extra bass. Yeah. And you know, so it have the tone control is, even if it doesn't have a mid, the bass. In my Heikos, I do not need bass. My Heikos are too deep. With the Marantz, I played the Heikos like this. It was the bass was too powerful in the 2330, and the mids or the highs I placed on this, and the mids also one stripe to the right. With the Fisher, I play them both in the middle. I don't even need this. The extra bass controls, only in the middle. Perfect made for my Heikos. Perfect. That's why I think I will use this. But again, I have to do the VS test between the SX1250, probably, maybe. After the test, I say the SX1250 is the winner, not sure, but I do not believe it. The moment I heard this thing, my mouth fell open. The sound is so beautiful.
Vriezen. En morgen kom op nou, hou die bal nou eens een keer in de
Listen. Look how strong, just with a little wire. Look how strong it receives.
2. Ja, en als je dan kijkt naar de uitslagen die de concurrentie van Quick Boys heeft laten zien. Hoek 1-1 gelijk gespeeld tegen Spakenburg. En hier live te horen was dat HAC Hardenberg van Rijnsburgse Boys heeft verloren. Dus kortom, dubbele reden daar ook nieuws uit dat de mannen in het blauw-wit de mouwen opstropen en toch eens wat doelpunten gaan maken. Want voorlopig zien we Barendrecht aan de positieve kant van de...
Beautiful. What you heard is the tuner wire. I have to place some WD-40 between the pulleys and the wire with beeswax. I have to do that myself. Unbelievable. No, guys, thanks for watching this live video. And I'm happy to inform you that I'm still living. I'm not dead, but what I explained to you, that can happen at every moment, because my heart is not that healthy. And yeah, but Roderick, or K at 1275. Fisher was a famous brand, and it was a good sound. You know, people loved that Fishers. But as soon Sanyo took over Fisher, everybody lost faith in Fisher products because it was made by Sanyo. And but for this receiver, I think Sanyo did the utmost best to make a machine, a receiver, the best they could. I think they put all their efforts in this machine to make it so sounding so good. Yeah. Because I cannot explain you how this thing sounds. Otherwise, you have to. Sound test will not convince you. I know, because a microphone is different than in your ears. But if you are hunting for the perfect sound, you know, because sound is everything for us guys, you know, and if you're hunting for that sound, then this thing is the best. You know why the best? Because it is still cheap. Well, cheap. Is 1,500 cheap? Not cheap, but if you compare it with 10 years ago, 1,500 is a lot of money. But for these days, 1,500 is very cheap, and they will not stay this cheap after my video. So if you see this video, you never heard of this thing. Probably you never heard of it because you live in Europe. If you live in America you can find them. In Canada you can find them, but it will be impossible if you know what the shipping costs are to buy one in America, to let it ship over. It will be too expensive, you know. And if you are in Europe, in the Netherlands, you can never score one. In Belgium, you can never score one. Only in Germany. And Germany, they are also rare. So first of all, if you score one, you can only score it in Germany. The ones you can find in Poland or Romania, they were all imported from Germany. So Germany is the only place in Europe where they were sold. They were not sold in the Netherlands, because then I never saw one on the Dutch market. Never one. So they were not sold in the Netherlands. Or maybe the importer thought, okay, these are too expensive. I will not sell one. Let's skip this one, you know. And I think this is the reason. They were too expensive. 3,000 German mark or 3,400 guilders in the shop. Yeah. My friends, that was a 3-month salary. 3-month salary. Yeah. So that's why they are cheap now. 1,500 is a half a month salary. That's cheap in comparison with the new price, 3-month salary. Oh, guys, you have to. I thought I go live. I don't have audience at all. I lost all my audience. They removed my channel because they don't think I was not planning to make videos anymore, my friends. But yeah, I want to share my happiness. Since I have this thing, day and night, television. Even if there is a film there over there, I'm playing with this thing, you know. I'm playing with this thing, you know. Receiver switches over another channel news. Unbelievable. I didn't even connect it to Spotify yet. Only tuner. Since I have it, day and night, my friends, day and night. I so much love this thing. Thanks for watching this live recording, and I think in May or in October I will be back to review this thing. Maybe I will do 2 videos. I promise you that. One of this one and one the VS test between the SX1250 and this one. And the SX1250 is, I think, 1 or 2 centimeters less wide than this one. 4 kilo lighter. So this thing already beat the SX1250 on weight and size, because this thing is a monster. It is a monster. Look how big the thing is. And if it is also beating it in sound, for me, what I heard, I think it will beat the Pioneer in sound also. But okay, we will see what's happening. Thank you for watching. I have to go to the shop. Ciao, ciao. Let me see how I do it.